Welcome back to the Runner Reb channel, where it seems like I'm always in a garden tinkering or piddling with something out here. I had a request on how I grow my tomatoes. I think I've got some pictures on the phone of last year's crop. I can show you the technique I use for my tomatoes. My tomato vines usually run anywhere from 8 to 10 foot tall. I run them up on a wire trellis. That's the last step in the video. I'll show you how I'm going to wire one up. Simple, one person can do it without damage to the plants. Three things you're going to need when we start this project: some compost, which is chicken litter, some dry leaves. I love dry leaves in the garden, it just helps build the nutrients up, and a tomato plant. Now, I had to stop by the store today and buy another tomato plant because I had already planted mine for the year, and I got the request and I thought, you know what, let's just go buy an extra one. It's not going to hurt, and we'll do this video real quick and I'll show you exactly how we do it down here. Alright, I've got a small bucket with some chicken litter and some dry leaves, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some dirt, and I'm just going to mix it up real good. Now, I'm not going to use all this. Alright, I'm going to take my shovel where I've got my plant marked at, and I'm going to go down about 6 inches of work. Okay, now sprinkle me some in there. Now this is the important part, okay? It's not like the cucumbers and the squash and everything else that I've planned using this method. You're going to put dirt on top of it, about 3 inches. Remove your plant from its container, if that's how you go. I'm going to bust up these root systems a little bit, okay? Get some of that potting soil off there. It's not going to kill the plant, it's actually going to help it. Okay, we're going to put that in the dirt, and I'm going to mound it up. And I'm going to create a water ring. The reason I'm really big on water rings is because in the last couple of years we've had several droughts in North Georgia, and they put watering bans on us unless you use well water, which I don't use well water, and I do not use the city water. I have a stream that runs through my property, and I usually get my water from there. Right now I do have a sprinkler system hooked up, but it was just to keep some of the dust down. Not ready to water the plants. So we're going to walk it in and get it tight. Now, a lot of people is going to tell you that they're going to come out here and trim the sucker leaves and things like that off of them. I don't mess with that. I mess with keeping the weeds out from around it. That's what's going to hurt your plants the most. And I always leave my sticker up that comes with the plant, because a lot of times I try different varieties to see how we're going to like it. And this one right here is a Better Boy. It's $2.50 for this plant is what I gave for it a piece. I don't like buying them when they're like that in the 2-quart plant, because I can buy 4 of these plants in a smaller cup, a tray, for $2, 50 cents a piece. So really you're just buying time when you buy this, and this is only like 2 weeks. It's not a big deal. However, remember, put your compost under it. Give yourself 3 inches of dirt. It could be 4. Whatever you put in there will be fine. Pack that down on top of your compost and your chicken manure, cow manure, whatever you use. You could even use a little quarter cup of fertilizer, triple 10, triple 13. But you want a barrier between it. You do not want these roots to come in contact with that fertilizer right off the bat. It will burn this plant up. Okay? So, water it real good first day. I don't like using a water hose directly. I've got a watering can and I'll just sprinkle water over it. I don't put Miracle Grow on them or anything of that nature. I let nature take its course. Okay? Now, this plant will live for the next 3 months and produce tomatoes like crazy. However, for that plant to live and produce tomatoes for that long, it's going to have to grow. Now you got to remember, this is technically a vine. A lot of people around here let these just lay on the ground. I don't, because of insects and rodents and rats and turtles, things of that nature. Find tomatoes attractive along with birds. So what I've got over here is the system that I use to tie my tomatoes up. And you can downscale it to fit a pot or anything of that nature. A small patio garden, a flower bed, a raised bed. The same principle applies to this. And I'm going to spin the camera around and I'm going to show you exactly how I tie my tomatoes up and explain why I do it. Alrighty, I'm hoping that's good. Alright. What I have here is a 16-foot cattle panel. Sold at most hardware stores. You can pick it up places like Tractor Supply. I think Ace Hardware has them. A few other stores in your area probably does by different names. However, it's excellent for tying up tomatoes. And what I'm going to do, I've got 3 fence posts separating it, or separating the distance. And how I'm going to tie this up, raise this up, and let it hang right there. I want my wire up off the ground because the tomatoes really don't need any support right now, as young as they are. It's whenever they start getting older that you're going to need that support. And I use zip ties. I mean, it's just easier for me to do it that way. And I'm going to go around one like that. You got a little lip right there. And you're going to just pull it tight. Pulling it in. And we're going to go down here to this side. I'm going to zip tie it. I'm sorry if you can't see me. I'm out here by myself. And I'm going to zip tie this in. Then you're going to run you another zip tie midway. You can pick these zip ties up anywhere. Lowe's, Walmart. Maybe you got a buddy that works in construction. He's got them laying around his house or hardware store you can go to. I'm gonna have 3. One on top, one in the middle, one on the bottom. Now, we drop one down here on this end. And if you don't mind, I'm going to grab the camera. All right. Now on a T-post, you have the brackets on the side of it. This is the front. And you're wanting to put your cattle panel, I don't know if you can see that good, above it. Zip tied in, and it locks it into place. Okay, 3 of them. Now you see the tomato plants below. There's a shot right there. All right. As these tomato plants grow, I will take them and run them over like this and up to the wire, and as they grow older, I'll weave them. The taller they get, I'll just run them right through the square channels right here. Simple process. Or you can take sewing thread, things of that nature, and as the plants grow up, you tie them off to the cattle panel. The thing of it is, you do not want your fence post on top of your tomatoes. I left about an 8-inch space. The reason I do that is, for one thing, it makes it so much easier to clean around the tomato plants without metal or fence post in there. So let me adjust the camera for just a second. There we go. All right. Now, another technique that we have for doing the tomatoes, as far as running them up like that, we can put a T-post in beside, set it down, or another thing that they do down here in the southern part of the state is, hold on one moment. Is a cage made of wire. Now, you can make these wire cages to fit around pots that you may have on your porch, on your deck, backyard. You may be in an apartment or a duplex and you have very limited room to do it. Simple to do. I'll show you with this bucket that I've got. It's small, but you'll get the idea of it. You can put this in a 5-gallon bucket, set your cage over top of it, and lay a small decorative rock or a piece of wood or something just on the cage to keep it where it doesn't move. Now for me, in my garden, when I'm doing the cage around a tomato, I really don't drive a post in. I simply do this. Remember, I've got my water ring. All right, my water ring's still intact. I'll just take a shovel. Ah, there it goes. Simply take a shovel, put dirt on the side, mash it down, go around on the other side. Now, I'm not filling my water ring in. I'm just making it to where this is sturdy. And then later on, I'll come through here with a piece of wood or a fence post, and I'll drive it beside it in the ground, and I will tie it off with zip ties where the wind won't blow it, and it won't damage the tomato plant. However, I don't like using cages. I prefer the cattle kennels. So, for running rib, that's how I plant a tomato. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 37 tomato plants out, and I've got $20, $22 I think in all the plants. So I'll get several bushels of tomatoes this year for 20 bucks. Like I told you, I can put a half-acre garden out for $50 or less, depending on what I want, what vegetables I want in it. Tomato plants are easy to grow. I hope this video helped you. If you like it, subscribe. If you want a comment left about putting something in the ground that you're unfamiliar with, or you need a new idea, maybe it's not working out, you're not growing the way you should be growing, leave a comment. I don't mind. I'll go by and pick one up and research it, and we'll put it in the ground. Now here in a couple of months, I'll be doing a video on the update of this, along with the squash and the cucumbers and the watermelons that we planted yesterday. So subscribe, come back and check it out. Y'all have a blessed evening and enjoy the rest of the week that the Lord has provided us. Thank you.